Hey everybody, Mark Kelly from University Financial Strategies. So we're all about trying to help people figure out how to pay for college for 4 years down the penny. So we're a Dave Ramsey master coach. And so Dave Ramsey talks about 7 baby steps, and baby step 5 is how to pay for college. And so we believe this is a great way to think about it because we want you to be intentional in terms of how you spend your money. So if we think about it right now, student loan debt is now $1.6 trillion and growing. And so we're seeing a lot of parents that are taking student loan debts into retirement. And we're also seeing the students that are graduating and then they're being crowded out with the cost of student loan repayments. So, it's really become somewhat of an epidemic. So what we're trying to do, given the near-term future, is actually help people so they understand how to use their money more intentionally. So in this tool, it's a great way to figure out how to pay for the net cost of college for 4 years. And so we can look at all your schools, the school list you have, and figure out in advance what the cost is. And so you can make a more informed decision and be an educated consumer of a college education. So first thing we're doing is actually getting the parent information, the parent's date of birth, where they live is going to also be important depending on if they're going to a state school or out-of-state school. Then we're going to look at the parent's income, so it's the earnings that they have. There's going to be some sample information here of where to get the data, and then here's the adjusted gross income. So this explains how we fill that in. So you're going to put that all in there, the income tax is paid. You're going to walk through this, figure out what they have in their checking and savings, their net worth. The net worth should include 529s, but does not include things like your 401k. So we want to keep that out of that number there. Home equity is going to be, it's the value of the property minus the mortgage. That's your equity only. Other real estate is going to be some other property, maybe a vacation home or something else, okay? So we're going to fill that information in. Then we're going to get to the student. We're going to also look at their GPA, their standardized test scores. If you don't know the information, you can make an estimate in here, just fill that in, put the year they're going to graduate. And if you have a sibling, it's important too to know when they're in college, because it has a major impact on the cost of attendance. Okay, so then we're going to put this information here. We're going to put in your current balance sheet 529. Parent pledged assets is how much they're planning to use to pay for college. Here we're talking about cash flow. Cash flow is, if you think about it, your child may be going off to college and not living at home. So therefore they're not eating your food or using some of the resource in the house. So now you're going to have that cash flow freed up. So this is where we're going to account for that. This is a student pledged assets. Maybe they have a slight part-time job, or maybe they worked on the summer or something like that. Grandparent help is also included in there. So once we have all that in there, we can go in, and it actually gives you this dashboard. And then here, you're actually able to add in the various schools. So here we have various schools, like we have SMU. This is showing the cost of attendance. It shows that it uses the institutional method of financial aid, and then how the needs met, how to meet the financial need of the student. And then here it's got everything from their SAT scores and things like that. It also has things like scholarships and more information to help you. And the idea is that we're going to help you understand what the net cost is versus the cost of attendance, because they're two different things. And so depending on your situation, you may, if you qualify for needs-based aid, then you're going to be paying a lesser ticket price. That way you can do an apples-to-apples comparison. So just for an example, if you're looking at a state school versus, like I was showing you, SMU, you're not going to pay the $79,000, but you're going to pay less. And so that's what this is showing, okay? And so we're looking at kind of a few different financial aid formulas. So this is the federal, which is basically off the FAFSA. This is the institutional method that certain schools will use. And then this is the consensus, a list of schools that are limited to have this. And so this is just showing you what the cost expected family contribution is. An expected family contribution, if you're not familiar with that, that is the cost of attendance minus the expected family contribution is what you're going to pay, but the EFC is what the government expects or thinks you can afford to pay for college. It's not necessarily what you think you can afford, but it's what the government has said that you can afford. And so with that information, you're able to kind of look at the details and make a comparison and figure out side by side kind of what the cost is. So you can say how to pay for various schools, okay? And it'll show you in a report what the various cost is, okay? And that way you can plan in advance, not be surprised, and be intentional with your college funding and how to pay for it.